Welcome back to Inkademic, and on this episode we're doing a product review and putting in the work so you don't have to. On Inkademic Reviews this time, we're looking at Viking Revolution's Tattoo Balm aftercare product and, quote, Tattoo Refresher. Viking Revolution's Tattoo Balm. Let's put that to the test, shall we? I'll be covering a variety of areas, figuratively and literally, I guess. First, I'll be putting this on 3 of my tattoos of varying age, just to see what, if any, difference it makes. And then we'll look at various qualities like the ingredients, the smell, the feel, whether it's greasy specifically, whether it has protective qualities, the size of the product that you get, and how much it costs. And you'll notice right away when I open it up that I've used a little bit because, like with any new skincare product, you should test it on a small area before you slather it all over yourself. Nobody likes allergic reactions. So anyway, let's jump right in. This is Alice, and she's going to be our test subject. Some parts of this tattoo are about 18 months old, some are about 6, but either way it's all fully healed. And I'm going to treat just one half of it so we can compare it side by side. I'm also going to be comparing this one, which is about 10 years old, and this one, which is about 17. So let's talk about the ingredients real quick. So the main ingredient is grapeseed oil, and then right after that is shea butter. Now the last ingredient, and therefore the one of the smallest amount, is coconut oil, and we'll come back to that in a second. See, the ingredients list also includes beeswax extract, and I don't want to get into whether or not this invalidates Viking Revolution's claim that it is a vegan product, but it is something that you need to be aware of, if that's a concern to you. So like I said, we're going to test this on half of Alice, so I've got the medicinal tape that I've covered her right side with. And I'm just going to slather some of this on the other side. So this is definitely more than I would put on if I was using like Aquaphor or something as aftercare. And remember, this is only for the refresh part. So let's take the tape off Alice and see how her left side looks. And I mean, it's definitely shinier, right? There's that. So let's talk about the smell real quick. The smell isn't overpowering by any means. It's actually pretty subtle. That said, it is very coconutty. So I said we'd come back to the coconut oil, right? So if you don't want that smell of pina colada about you, I'd suggest avoiding using large amounts of it at a time. But if you enjoy smelling like you just came back from a Jimmy Buffett Parrot Head weekend cruise, slather it on. In fairness, I like the smell. I don't think I'd use a shampoo that smells like that for any reason, really. But it's not that bad. It's just something to be aware of. Alright, so now I'm going to jump into doing the 2 older tattoos. This first one's about 10 years old, and the next one is about 17 years old. And while I'm doing that, let's talk about the feel. And I mean, it feels exactly like what it is. Right? Solid at room temperature mixture of fats and wax. And I've also seen that it can be a bit warm on the area that it's being applied to. And I thought that was kind of odd, since there's really nothing to my knowledge in the ingredients that would necessarily do that, but I have to admit, it does feel present. Like you can tell it's on there. And not because it's greasy, and we'll get to that in just a second, but just that it's there. It's kind of hard to explain. The feel when you dip into it is interesting. It's almost like it sets up a little kind of a weak crust on the top layer, where the top's more solid than the inside. Still solid, just less solid. It's very similar to like a solid lip balm that you can get in tins like this, or somewhere between a solid cologne or perfume or a beard wax, if that helps. Alright, so let's come back to Alice. See how she's doing. This has been about 15 minutes. If you can see a difference, let me know, because I can't really. Which I guess is a good a time as I need to talk about the greasiness of it. So I'm always wary of products that include ingredients like, in order, oil, butter, beeswax oil, and oil, and then proclaim to have a non-greasy feel. I also understand that this can be a bit subjective. I, for example, think that regular Lubriderm lotion is somewhat greasy, but I seem to be the only person who thinks that. So the feel of this stuff is a little bit greasy, but it's not off-puttingly so. It's not nearly as greasy as something like, say, Aquaphor or beard balms, if that helps. But if you're expecting this to go on and feel powdery and have no greasy feel to it whatsoever, you're going to be disappointed. Though I don't think that's a fair expectation to begin with, considering, like I said, half the ingredients are oil, butters, and wax. So. Alright, so I thought that this might be a bit more effective on more color-saturated areas, so I started trying out this part of my sleeve on the other side of my arm with the reds in there, and I thought maybe this toadstool would be a really good test subject. And you can see, I think we found where this stuff really shines, and I don't mean literally. Like, that's impressive, right? That looks super red. Again, shiny, but whatever. All right, let's talk about SPF. There is none. This stuff will not protect you against any harmful UV rays. I really wish it did have some, though, because it already smells like you're going to spend time at the beach. Also, the size, this stuff, it's small. It's a 2-ounce can, and that's all there is. Viking Revolution's balms are all 2-ounce tins, it would seem, and this is normal, I'm finding, so don't feel like you're getting skimped on this. That said, a little bit goes a long way with this kind of stuff. I can imagine how long it would take for me to go through a 2-ounce can, so keep that in mind. Given that you will likely, given the amount of use that you'll likely get out of this little thing, the price actually seems appropriate, and the price is, at time of recording, just shy of $10 on Amazon for a single 2-ounce tin. You can also see the most common subscribe and save option is about 2 months. So if we extrapolate that out and say that that's accurate, that's about $5 per month for the product if you use it regularly, I'm guessing. Comes out to about 17 cents per day. So is that worth it to you? I mean, that's up to you, right? So overall, I would say it does what it says on the tin. The smell is pleasant, but maybe not as traditionally manly as the Viking Revolution brand likes to present itself. The feeling's a little bit greasy, but it definitely lets you know that it's there. The size seems underwhelming, but it lasts a long time from what I can gather, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. This seems like it'd be really good for travel, because it's small, the volume is portable easily, it's not liquid at room temperature, so there's that. But do keep in mind that if this stuff gets hot, if it gets warm, if you're ordering it to your house in a warm climate, you're probably going to get it in its liquid state, right? And that's going to be probably the same for this, for example, this beard balm from another company. Just to show you the difference between the two. One, the beard balm is it's much more waxy, but it does turn liquid easily. It's just not as easily as this stuff, as the Viking Revolution Tattoo Balm. Same thing with the solid cologne. Like I said, that's going to be a lot more solid. So if you're trying to figure out exactly what it's going to be like, it's going to be kind of in this order from solid to liquid. So for tattoo aftercare, I can't speak to that because I don't have any new work right now. But the next time I do, I will give it a shot. And I will update the description or maybe do another video comparing and contrasting different products. For tattoo refreshing, I mean, sure. It does seem to darken the saturated areas a bit, but I wouldn't call it a miracle or anything. It definitely makes it shine. I'd be interested to see how well it works on darker skin too, because I'm super pale. And all of my tattoos, it really pops to begin with just because of the contrast. So I think it'd be interesting to use on different kinds of skin. Also note that this isn't being tested on large areas with vibrant color because I have those, so take that for what it's worth. So finally, the product doesn't seem to be anywhere on Viking Revolution's website, which is a little bit disconcerting and slightly confusing. So would I continue to use this product? I mean, sure. I don't see anything necessarily bad about it, but I don't see all that much value in it. That said, I'm only basing it off its purported brighten up older tattoo areas claim. So technically, while it does seem to make them pop, I'm just not sure it's enough to use this product on a daily basis. So what about you? Have you tried it? If you have, throw a comment below and let me know. See you next time.